Today is one of those days where you just walk outside and you're just mad and you don't know why you're mad. And you realize because it's hot. Not only is it hot, it's humid. That's like the worst because it's like sticky and uncomfortable. It is officially summer, my least favorite time of the year here in the Houston metro area. And the dogs are going crazy. They on edge. Everyone's on edge. So it's a little after 7. I was trying to get out here before it got hot, like hot. Right now it's just humid. I say just humid. It feels like a sauna, but it's bearable. So we're gonna get out here. I have my peaches. My peaches are ready to harvest. I probably have my last flush, will be my last flush of tomatoes before the heat just takes them all out. I've got more cucumbers to harvest, eggplant. We've got Blackberry, so no shortage of things to do. I'm also gonna spill the tea and share the announcement I have been teasing. Technically, I'm not supposed to be sharing it this early, but whatever, it'll be fine. And so with that, let's go. Now here is my Roma tomato plant and it is looking fabulous. It is full of tomatoes, most of which are ripened or have started to blush. And Romas are a type of determinate tomato, which means that it flowers and fruits all within a few weeks of one another, and then it naturally dies back. So you can start to see how some of the leaves are starting to yellow and turn brown as it reaches the end of its life cycle. That's completely normal for determinate varieties of tomatoes. Also, for your tomatoes, you can pick them when they start to blush. So this is an example of a tomato that has started to blush, and they will ripen just perfectly fine on your counter. I like to do this because it allows me to get to them before the birds or any type of pest does. So that is right for the picking for me. I don't know if you can see that there, but I can't tell if that's an armyworm or a cutworm. Either way, it is no bueno for my tomato, so I'm going to treat that. Also see quite a few squash bugs, which are probably worse for the tomatoes. And so for the caterpillars here, I'm actually going to pick the ones off that I can see and then treat the plant with BT to prevent future activity. And then for the squash bugs, I'm just going to use my homemade insecticidal soap. And here are my berries crazy, which the name is very fitting. These put out so many tomatoes. I think if I only had to choose one cherry tomato variety to plant, it will be this one. It's happy, it loves life, it has a will to live. So berries crazy. I think what I'm actually gonna do, I am going to try remaking some tomato jam. I made some a couple of years ago. It was okay. I followed a recipe that I think I want to tweak, and so I think these will be great for that. As you can see under here, I have oregano creeping through, as well as sweet potato, the welcomed weed in the garden. today's sponsor, me. Over the past few weeks, I've kind of been teasing an announcement that I had that technically I'm not supposed to be announcing right now because I am nowhere near ready, but it has literally consumed my life for the past like 6 or 7 months. And I am all about being real. And so you may have noticed I have not been posting as much as I usually do. And I kind of just wanted to give you context. I haven't forgotten about you all. I love y'all. But this is really taking priority. For those of you all who don't know, outside of gardening, my background is actually in retail, specifically corporate retail. So I've worked for some of the country's largest retailers in everything from buying, merchandising, planning and allocation, store management, you name it. I have done it within retail. However, unfortunately, in January, I was laid off from my job. And so I decided to take that opportunity to really kind of dig deep to figure out kind of what I wanted to do in life. I know that sounds deep. I mean, I was always really good at what I did, but it wasn't fulfilling. And I'm someone by nature who's very entrepreneurial, a very entrepreneurial spirit, have always been that way. And so I made the decision to really take my that like entrepreneurial spirit, my passion and knowledge in retail to launch Caught Eating Clay Modern Apothecary. And so in phase 1 of launch, because I got big plans for the apothecary, I'll be launching my line of body care that is, everything is specially formulated, handmade by me, and it will include things like cold processed soap, which you might be able to see in the background, creams, body wash, balms, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and everything in between. And so I'm so excited. I really wanted to prioritize focusing on formulating and using ingredients that are simple and really have a reason for being. So everything that is in the ingredient list, you understand like why it's there, which I feel like there's not many brands that really do that. And like, all in, heads down. It is literally all I do. I have no life because this has been my life. But I just wanted to share that with you all. I plan to launch probably at the beginning of September. So more to come on that. But yeah, I'm so excited. And I think I'm going to bring y'all along because I just have a different perspective when it comes to kind of starting a business and starting a brand, because I have had that formal kind of brand management, merchandising experience. And with that, back to our regularly scheduled programming. My peaches are ready, and the storm actually bent the tree, and some of the ripened peaches have fallen to the ground. But y'all, I did not realize there were as many as they are through here. Like, this netting made it really hard to see, but I am so excited. So I'm gonna remove the netting from the tree and we're gonna harvest some peaches. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at all of these peaches. This tree is loaded. I did not realize there were this many. Like, it was hard to see through the mesh and the leaves covered them, but this loaded with peaches. Look at that. They are everywhere. I am beyond excited. I can't wait to harvest these. I hate that the wind has a tree where it's on the lean, but I do have something I can help correct it. I am in awe. Like, so many. If you are in Texas, you absolutely should be growing peaches. Like, these are beautiful. And these are the ones that fell on the ground that look to be pretty much done. The bugs have gotten to them. Well, not all of them. This one looks to be good. But most of these, I'm going to get these up and throw these. The plum curculio actually nests up into ripen, like fallen fruit. And then if you don't pick it up, then you're pretty much breeding the next generation of them. So we will make sure to get all these up and dispose of them properly. And there are quite a bit of ants on this. But oh my gosh, this is an even better view. Like, look at these peaches. Look at that. So my neighbors and I went to the nursery last year and they let me plant a peach tree in their yard, and I planted it directly across this tree on the opposite side of the fence. So I think this tree definitely benefited from the cross-pollination with the peach tree in my neighbor's yard. So thank y'all. And this right here, what did Bob Ross used to say was a happy accident? The bad plants were actually cuttings that I actually bought from somewhere like Walmart of elderberry that I propagated in these little pots, and I forgot about them. And I put them on the ground here, and they rooted into the ground, and they are literally up against my fence, so hopefully my neighbor doesn't mind. And they've gotten quite tall. You can see that they are starting to flower, so I might get some elderberries this year. But I literally have not done anything to this. Like I said, I forgot about it, and I don't know if this is both varieties. I'm assuming so, because I think you needed two for them to cross-pollinate and produce fruit. It was the John and Adams. I thought that was cute, like John Adams. But yeah, happy accident. But I'm excited to get, hopefully I'll get elderberries this year. And then one of my fig trees, I think this is the tiger fig, has figs on it. And this blackberry plant is actually in a container, a fabric container at that, that's actually rooted in the ground. And as you can see, it is producing huge blackberries over here. So you can absolutely grow blackberries in a container. The canes that have spread out. Oh, look at this one. This one's ready for the picking. Let's see. My camera literally cut off as I was picking this blackberry for this plant because it is overheated. But look how huge this berry is. From a plant I grew in a container, but has rooted in the ground. So if you're planting in a container, if you can't allow it to root in the ground, I absolutely would, because it allows the plant to drop nutrients from the earth. have a chrysalis. So I brought y'all along in a video where I actually removed this monarch caterpillar from a milkweed plant because that is a host plant for monarchs to protect it from the birds, because last year the birds ate all of my monarch caterpillars. And I put it in this little doohickey here that I just got on Amazon. And only yesterday I came out and I fed it some milkweed leaves. And today I came out and it is a beautiful chrysalis. And so I'm really excited to watch its life stages. I think this would be really fun for like kids. And once it actually turns into a butterfly, I will release it into the wild. Monarchs, as you know, is a beautiful butterfly, wonderful pollinator, and its population is in drastic decline. So that's why it's important to plant milkweed when you can. Like I said, it's a host plant for the monarch in order to support the species. I am woe out. It is, today's high feels like was in the 100s, and it definitely felt like it. But I'm here at this table. First off, I'm leaning over because I'm just tired. But I went and washed off one of our peaches, and I'm gonna do a taste test. This is the Tropic Snow. Really excited. Last year I got maybe 4 or 5 peaches off of it, and they were some of the sweetest peaches I've ever had in my life. So we're gonna see if that holds true this year. Y'all. Y'all, this peach, I don't know if you can see the juice dripping off. It is so juicy. It is so flavorful and it's sweet with like a slight tang, but mostly sweet. And it has like your traditional like peach flavor. It's so good. I tore this up. Want to taste it? You like it? Not your jam. Okay, not his jam, but it's my jam. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I know I did. It was a very bountiful, very abundant. I feel incredibly blessed. Let me know if you all would like me to do like a tour of all the fruit trees I have in my garden, the ones that are in ground and in containers, and tips on like how to grow fruit trees in warmer climates, like here in Texas, warm, humid climates. Let me know if that would be of interest. I have quite a few trees, but I don't really spend much time in my videos on them because they fruit at different times of the year. Well, y'all, this is going to be a short one because I am tired. I need to go in. I need to feed the dogs. I need to feed myself, and I need a shower. So, with that being said, until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And remember, every black thumb ripens to green, and it all just starts with a seed.